to roll the dice. Feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king's dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key. Next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you've gone, it was never alone. This word, and that was when I ruled the world. It was the wicked and wild wind blew down the doors to let me in. Shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate, just a puppet on a line. All right, let me not get the copyright. I'm trying something new. I want to play music when I come through. I need to get like a theme song. Like I really want to make this a thing. I want to make it fun. And so I was like, let me come on with some music. So I don't know. They'll probably copyright the ish out of that, but I'm not monetized yet, so it's okay. We can still play and have a little bit of fun with it. All right, what's up to everybody who's watching? What's up, Sarah? Thank you for coming through. What's up to everybody who's watching? Welcome to Monday Morning Matters, right? Or Monday Mornings Matter. I still don't know what to call this Monday show. So drop a comment in the chat or wherever, or if you're watching this afterwards, let me know what I should title it. And then the best title will win, because I feel like it should be something better. I'm really trying to stick with the M, but it doesn't have to be an M thing. It doesn't. But anyway, thank you guys for coming through. Welcome to a new week, a new business week, because really the week started yesterday. And we're going to get into a couple of headlines. We have a few things going on. We got some breaking news with First Republic Bank they were saying that bank was going to collapse. It was like a rumor, but now it has come to fruition. At First Republic Bank has collapsed, has been bought by JP Morgan Chase. We'll be talking about that. We're going to go into really the theme of our show today is speech, how people are trying to control speech as usual, right? Like it's like what's new, right, about that. But of course, different ways that they're trying to do that. The White House had a press correspondent dinner and just a bunch of patting each other on the back. I mean, we got headlines coming out about a bunch of different things, and the news is coming fast today because I'm seeing like there's a few things that are happening, and the Great Reset was trending on Twitter, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'll talk a little bit about that too. We got a few things we're going to talk about, a few things for this hour. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, guys, if this is your first time watching this, coming through, checking out my live, my name is Casey. This channel is That Girl Casey. We talk about the inconvenient truth on this channel. We're trying to make the inconvenient truth great again. I plan on doing this every Monday morning for an hour where we talk about, the headlines that are going on or recap certain whatever stories are going on, current news. And then I make videos also on the channel speaking about the inconvenient truth. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and we're going to get into, I want to show you first your president. He looked really good the other day. I just want to, and I had to start laughing as soon as I say that, right? But I just want to show you he was looking good, I was like, oh, okay, go ahead, Joe, doing your thing. Hold on. Let me switch out the screen. I like to put myself, and let me know if y'all can hear me, or if for some reason you can't hear me. I'm still having struggle sessions with this microphone. There he goes. He's looking good the other day. He was with the military. start from the beginning. Channel World. We start with a laugh. They don't know what to do with him. All right. So that was our first little piece with Joe. Hold on. Let me stop sharing and go back to me. All right, let's go ahead and get into. He had a. Hold on a second, y'all, real quick. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, he had a. They had the White House press correspondent dinner. So we're gonna start with that because it goes with the theme of speech and controlling narratives. So, so it looks like a mortician did his makeup. Oh man, it is. I mean, yes, it was very awkward to see. Yes. So Mark Dice talked about his correspondence dinner. I want to go ahead and show you that. Like, I want to go through Mark Dice's video because he did a good job with it, and I didn't put the clips together at the moment. But hold on, not hold on a second. Let me go ahead and share it. I had to get it ready for y'all. Now we're about to share it. I mean, this is. I mean, it is extra. It's just like you can't even make it up anymore. All right, this is Mark Dice's channel. Mark Dice has 1.85 million subscribers. He doesn't need me to promote him, but I'm going to promote him anyway. Mark Dice does not work with me, but and we're not affiliated. I just watch his channel. All right.
Was the annual White House Press Correspondents Association dinner, where the Operation Mockingbird assets all wine and dine with the president, and they invite a comedian to entertain them while they all laugh at how corrupt they are because it's all just one big game to them.
Every president privately and sometimes publicly bridles at his news coverage. And yet they invite us in and take our questions. Though, sir, maybe not as many as we would like.
So, of course, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but so you see Joe's laughing. So she's like making the point that what questions anyway, but he goes on to make the point too. He's very good by Mike.
That is not the featured comedian, by the way. That is the president of the White House Correspondents Association, who surprisingly still has some semblance of a journalist in her soul. It might be hard to tell if you're watching this on a mobile device, but she is scowling at him. She also didn't mean for this to be a joke either, but I found it absolutely hilarious.
This is a challenging time for the news industry. My employer, NPR, just went through a painful round of layoffs, and we aren't alone. ABC, BuzzFeed, CBS, CNN, Gannett, Insider, Vice News Tonight, The Washington Post. I had to alphabetize the list. It is so long.
Right. And so we're going to stop right there for a moment. So why are y'all losing? Why is all this media just going bankrupt or just closing down or not doing good and not getting ratings? It's because the American people aren't watching the same old template lies anymore. They're not watching it. Like some of them are, but not everybody is. It's the same thing. It's like always talking about the same thing, we need to go to war because we have to defend democracy in some country that we figured out had a bunch of gold in that country or massive amounts of oil or poppy seeds in that country. So we have to defend democracy there. Or, trans rights are human rights, trans are women too. You know what I mean? Always the same. You're bad for thinking differently. You must think like us. That it's always the same thing. I mean, it is so predictable what's coming on the news. And so they're not listening. People want to hear something different. They want to hear raw, real news, even if it bothers them a bit. They know too, like even the economy. It's like, why is it that I go to the market and I get 3 bags and it's $100 and something dollars? Somebody explain this to me. How is this happening? CNN is not going to explain that to them. MSNBC, they're not going to explain that to them because they have to go back and explain that it is this administration that has put us in this position. The minute that they destroyed affordable energy, you need energy to produce, so So the minute that happened, like they're not going to tell them the truth. They're not going to tell them the truth, you know? So there's a couple more clips with Joe.
Sayonara. Learn to code. It's also customary for the president to get up and make some jokes, although this president is the joke.
Let me start on a serious note. Jill, Kamala, Doug, and I, and members of our administration, are here to send a message to the country and, quite frankly, to the world. The free press is a pillar, maybe the pillar of free society, not the enemy.
Well, sir, that sure is news to the Democrats because they've been working for years to censor the free press and ordinary citizens from social media.
We have very
I'm not
real.
gonna get back into this girl because I already talked about her. But it's a couple of things that he said. He knows
Is under attack, old Joe, by your political party. The White House Press Correspondents Association dinner is the place where the elite establishment gloat about how corrupt and untouchable they are.
And I want you to hear this little clip from back in the day. I've heard it before. Y'all probably heard it before.
In a lot of ways, this dinner sums up my first 2 years in office. I'll talk for 10 minutes, take 0 questions, and cheerfully walk away.
This is the same place.
Like, first of all, it's not even cool that he says that like it's a joke, you know? He does do that. Like, and they'll be like, sir, Mr. President, and then you'll hear the handlers like, okay, thank you, bye, thank you, okay, thank you. Because they know. Like, Joe Biden walks around with a card in his hand where they tell him what reporter is going to ask him what question. And I believe the answer's on there too, like, all right. And then I just say that, like, what the hell kind of simulation is this, right? Like,
place where George W. Bush and his Operation Mockingbird assets all had a good laugh about how they duped the American people into supporting the war in Iraq.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere.
It's a little hard to see, but this is a photo of him just kind of bending over awkwardly and looking under a table in the Oval Office.
Nope, no weapons over there.
They're applauding.
I mean, wow.
Maybe under here.
Duping the
How disgusting, right? So, all right, we're gonna stop that there because I'm not gonna play all Mike Dykes' show. Yeah, it's because they're terrible. No real adversarial journalism anymore. Seriously, there isn't. Like, you can have a base and still say that your base is wrong. They don't do that. Journalists don't do that. They're just still talking about social issues that aren't happening, you know, and that's it. That's it, you know. But did you hear that though? George Bush Jr. makes the joke, you know, where those weapons of mass destruction, they got to be somewhere. Weapons of mass destruction has, like, I still have to make this shirt, like, don't ever forget WM, weapons of mass destruction. WOMDs. Yes. I have to make a shirt because that's why the minute I heard about, again, Ukraine, I was like, now this is the country of weapons of mass destruction. And because of weapons of mass destruction, we're still in places in other countries that we're not supposed to be in. And they don't want you to know things like that. You know, they don't want you to know things like that. And I'm not going to make this, like I said, I had already, you know, did a whole Tucker Carlson, like, episode basically talking about the news and stuff. But what I want you to know is that, is that the Pentagon was happy when they found out that Tucker Carlson was fired. Like, that's insane. Like, what the hell? The Pentagon was happy when they found out Tucker Carlson was fired. Yeah. Good riddance. Politico wrote this. We're going to just read a little bit of it. Good riddance. Pentagon officials cheer Tucker Carlson's ouster. They try to say that they were happy because he was making jokes about maternity flight suits, to diversity policies, to Ukraine aid, the military, a favorite punching bag for Tucker Carlson. Now that he's off air, some Pentagon officials are quietly cheering his departure. We're a better country without him bagging on our military every night in front of hundreds of thousands of people, said one senior DOD official who, like others interviewed for this story, was granted anonymity, whatever. good riddance, they were saying. I mean, and this is so now that what they're trying to say is that they're trying to say, oh, it's because he was always talking about like our maternity flight suits. Did you know that like one day they made the military like put on the heels and walk in heels, and so they could walk in a woman's world or something, walk in the shoes of a woman? Like, what? I do not need the military to do that. Like, I need them to be buff, like buff. Like, you have Russian military flying out of jumping out of helicopters, and yet our military had on heels, and some woman giving them the left, right, left chant, and they had to say everything she was saying. It looked like the most dehumanizing thing I'd have ever seen. What is this? What are we promoting? But that's not what he was talking about. The reason why they want Tucker gone from the news, at 8 o'clock, is because he was against at least the Ukraine war. And he started to question a lot of other wars. He was the only one who talked about the bombing in Syria, how it wasn't right. He talked about a lot of different things and asked a lot of questions and wondered why our tax dollars were going to these wars or to these places or to these countries, Ukraine aid, in a time where our gas prices had skyrocketed to $5.99 a gallon in some places, more than that in California. We were sending money to Ukraine. And so they don't like that stuff. They don't like when people are talking about things like that. They don't like that what's going on. And when they started with this Ukraine thing, I was like, am I being too cynical? But this was the only show on cable that was basically confirming with evidence that I wasn't being too cynical. Then, of course, I went off and would watch Duran and stuff like that. But I have to go to YouTube. And it's a shame that YouTube is so hard up on censoring and controlling the narrative. If they would just stop, they could make so much more money. They could, because YouTube stock is dropping, but I bet you Rumble stock is not dropping. YouTube stock is declining. And it's like, why do you want to just be a part of this? Like, come on. I mean, I'm sure they signed some sort of contract or something, but they could have did a lot. They could have did a lot better with that. They could have, but because this is where people do come for the alternative news. But there's going to be a time where you're not going to be able to find it here. And so then we're going to have to go where? We're going to have to go to Rumble. I am on Rumble already. I'm on Rumble already, but I don't stream on, like right now, this isn't streaming on Rumble. I have to make sure to start doing things like that, because one day we're going to get up and, yo, what's up, Justin? What's going on? One day we're going to get up and it's not going to be up. One day I'm going to be like, let me go live stream on YouTube, and I'm not going to be able to get in my account, especially with the new person that they have on now, this new guy. I don't trust him at all. Why should I? But I want to show you too, like, this is the type of stuff that oh my God, I was trying to find that guy Simon's page, but I guess I don't have it. All right, sorry. It's a little annoying because I don't know why he didn't. Let me put up Matt Gaetz. Just so you know, hold on. Wait a minute. So hold on a second, y'all. So I'm trying to find where Matt Gaetz is talking about, he's trying to get the troops out of, I think this is it. Yeah, here it is.
Colleague, Mr. Meeks of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and with a great patriot such as Mr. James of Michigan. I want to welcome the American people to the second part in a legislative series we are conducting about all of the places on the planet Earth where Congress still believes that 9/11 justifies current U.S. troop presence in 2023. And the first in that series was Syria. And I came to this floor, only got about 103 votes, but I made the argument that our troops were essentially sitting ducks, guarding oil extraction operations where their presence was known, where their location was easily identifiable, and I called for a withdrawal. That withdrawal was defeated. And then precisely what I predicted, more U.S. casualties from Iranian drones. That's what happened, exactly what I said would occur. And it is with no joy I say that. And I know all of us would take any policy position we could to reduce U.S. casualties. And I think this debate will present an excellent opportunity to reflect on Somalia in that light. There are currently 900 U.S. troops in Somalia, give or take, and this resolution would bring them home. So
Matt Gaetz is the only person, so I'm going to stop sharing for a sec. Matt Gaetz is the only person that is in, okay, let me not say he's the only person, but I'm going to say this. Matt Gaetz is the model conservative Republican that I would love Republicans to be. I am so sincere, because he doesn't just walk the line of a neocon, right? Just because he's Republican. Now, let me say, I don't know his position on China, but he says what needs to be said. The man is out, he's on that floor saying, we need to pull our troops out. Why are we still in Somalia? Why are we still in Syria? Especially when right now you have BRICS happening over there on the eastern side of the globe, where everybody's becoming friends again. Syria with Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Iran, everybody's chit-chatting. They're having a good time talking. They're reproaching again. They're coming together, And so now we have troops there. So of course, when everybody, what's up, Red Sings the Blues, what's going on? So when everybody comes together and realizes, but wait a second, we have a common enemy. Yeah, because when those Americans came to my country, it was good, but XYZ. And then these Americans came to my country. Wait a minute, we have a common enemy here. And what do you think they do? They look at the American troops like, yo, go bomb this base. Why is it here? Right? And so then they become like sitting ducks, like he says. Matt Gaetz is a spitfire to me. Like he's something else to me. Like, I don't know, because he says what needs to be said. I don't hear anybody else bringing this to the floor. Now, there were some Democrats who did vote with him on this, but you don't hear AOC bringing that to the floor. And that's supposed to be a Democratic position, right? Like, let's stop wars. Again, I say, I don't know where he is with China, but they don't want you to know. Like, a lot of people don't even know that we're still in Somalia, Syria. We are everywhere. And for what? Because some country had some resources, and now we have to go over there. And that's just really what it is. Nick the Helper says, this is the perfect example of the government media meddling. The security state leaks to places like political under condition of anonymity. Absolutely. I mean, we always just have something going. The leaks, of course, are not leaks at all. They feed the narrative. They want the mainstream media to report. Absolutely. Just like even when we were going into Ukraine, when they were feeding that to the media, like, oh, well, we have intelligence that Russia's going to invade Ukraine. And so one of the reporters was asking, like, well, okay, what's the evidence? Well, no, I'm telling you that there's evidence. What's the evidence? But because I'm telling you there's evidence. Hold up, wait a second. It's not just because you tell me, like, what's the evidence? No, that's all you need is that I told you. Wow. Okay. So this is how our government works. And that's why when people tell me, like, oh, you need to be concerned about China, China with a TikTok and everything. I'm like, dog, we got bigger issues to fry right now. Our own government is trying to control the narrative so much. They took the highest, watched news anchor from the primetime slot, and clearly it is a government thing that happened. I know Rupert Murdoch Jr. and Tucker Carlson apparently didn't get along, but still, the government was all in that, like, get rid of him. And they did. So, and this is just to make sure that they help us and they control the narrative. That's how they do it, but all right. So, and it's not help. I'm being totally sarcastic. So I want to kind of switch over because, like, we're going with the whole controlling narrative and speech issues, right? So I'm going to segue over to a clown and what this clown had to say about speech. I have like 100 things on my, hold on. So let me go back to my bookmarks. This clown.
About me using, like, the articles written about me using he pronouns and calling me a man over and over again. And I feel like that should be illegal. I don't know. That's just bad journalism. Like,
no. So Dylan Mulvaney thinks that calling him what he is should be illegal. And so what people should go to jail because his feelings are hurt, you know? So this is the time, and our government would really, they want to make that happen. They definitely do. You know, they definitely do. So when I hear things like this, it pisses me. It frustrates me. It does. It makes me very angry because, number one, to be honest, in the Christian faith, like, you're not supposed to address this person as a woman at all. You know, you need to either go around it, or you're not supposed to do it. It is technically against the religion to say this is a man, right? Or hey, or excuse me, this is a woman, or hey girl, or what's up? I use she, her pronoun. And that's why they're so on this misgendering thing, right? That's why they can't take it when they get quote misgendered. They know that it's like it is. And again, Tucker said it. People who believe in God and these people can never exist together, because these people constantly try to force you to say what they want you to say. They try to force your speech to say, hey, sis, or her. No, that effectively, anytime you do that, it's like you're telling God, like, yeah, you did make a mistake with this person. Absolutely. That's what it's supposed to be. Now, do I walk up to a person? Not him. Do I walk up to a person with a substitution expression? And that's what I call it, because trans is not real. And see, this is why my channel is not going to last. Trans is not real. Trans is going to, it is, if I say trans, that means that a person can actually transform themselves into the other gender. That's not true. That is an absolute lie. It cannot happen. It cannot happen because your chromosomes are still the same. Your DNA is still the same. Now, I do believe that they're working on changing that. I absolutely do. But that would be a live stream for Rumble. But because I can't even get into how. But when I say DNA, RNA is a precursor for DNA. And so go ahead and, kind of walk yourself to the goal. like kind of just get there and see what I mean when I say that. So RNA is a precursor to DNA. And so I think you can connect the dots a little bit when I say it like that. But right, Sarah, yes. So I'm not going to walk up to a person, just like I said, I'm not going to be a dick about it, but I am going to be truthful, right? So this is what I do, right? All right, because I do work with these people. So I just don't say the pronoun. I just don't. I constantly call them by their name, or say, hey, there's the medicine that you get, or whatever. Or if I'm giving a report, like, patient in room 83 is da da da. Yes. I'm not gonna walk up to the person and be like, hey, sir. I'm not. I've worked before it got this crazy. I've always been around these substitution body expression people. I have. And that the reason why now I have to really be literal with words is not even just like, oh, it is because like we have normalized mental health disorders to a point where the train has derailed and we're not going to be able to get it back. We have to go through this. We have to fight through this because we're not going to be able to get it back. These people are changing laws, and that I have to share that with you too. But I've never walked up to them and said, oh, you're a man. Why are you dressed like? I'm not doing that. I worked next to him. I had one that I worked with long time ago. They were working in the therapy department, and he called himself Lisa, and I'd be like, oh, the patient in room 77 said they were ready for you to come help them with the therapy. I don't have no reason to like. I feel like if you go out your way to bother somebody like that, it kind of feels weird to me. It's like, what are you projecting? I don't believe in that, but I don't think anybody is that that way too. I don't think people are really going out of their way necessarily to bother them. When you hear Jazz Jennings say we're under attack, it's like, calm down, Jazz. I made a video about it if y'all want to check it out. Calm down. You're not under attack. We are, because of the legislation that's being written. We're gonna go back over that. Sarah said, it's not hard to use gendered language. It's not hard to just not use gendered language. And that's where I usually go also. But in a way, it's still going along with it. I know. Sarah, you funny. I know what you mean. I know what you mean about that struggle. But I feel like if somebody comes and they approach me about it, I have to hold my ground. I have to. because I know God is watching. I'm dead serious. Yes. Like if somebody comes and says, you know, oh, we want you to put your pronouns on your ID. I'm not doing that. It is effectively against my religion. Yes, it is, because I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to put this whole pronouns. I'm not doing it. And I don't have to do it. When I took the job, they didn't tell me that I needed to do that. I got to get out of the work field. But, or if somebody says, well, you don't ever use my pronouns, you need to call me she and her. We need to give you your medicine and make sure that you're safe. That's me. But I'm a she. No, you're not. Then at that point, I'm going to have to reorient you back to reality. You have the right to express yourself how you want to, but it's not a reality to tell a man that he's a woman. He does not have the biological markings to be a woman. And these people go and they cut themselves up and do all these things and like, I have a vagina. No, you don't. You have a wound. My next episode that'll be coming out tonight about Jazz Jennings, I'm going to go into the complications he had with that wound he put down there. You know, it is sick. It's sick. Sometimes it smells bad, you know? But you know why, Sarah, the declare your pronouns thing, I know where it's going and what it's about. So for me, I'm like, yo, just leave me out of it, man. I'm here to work, you know, just leave me out of it. That's all. Thank God I haven't had that happen to me yet, but I feel like then I'm just going along. I don't know, maybe unless I, you know, discuss it a different way. I don't want to go along with anything just to be nice to other people. I don't know how to explain that without sounding mean. It's not that I don't like being nice. I feel like I can be truthful with compassion, you know, but, or unless if I wear them pronouns and then if somebody asks me about them, I'm gonna say, well, the Lord made me a woman, so I'm a she, her, you know? So there you go. Maybe that's what I would have to say, you know? It's just like, come on, you know what? Come on. So let me bring up House Bill 300 again, because I did discuss this bill on my last live that I did a few nights ago, but this is really some serious stuff. Hold on. I'm pulling it up. Like, this is serious stuff, and this is why people say like, oh, you know, why are you guys even like worried about? You guys are so God, what do they say? Obsessed with trans. No, nobody ever cared. I didn't care about no trans before all it is ever. Like, this is not what that is. This is you impeding on my life now because you don't feel comfortable about yourself. This has nothing to do with me. So this is in Pennsylvania. This is House Bill 300. And this has been brought up by Representative Malcolm Kenyatta, who is a gay man who lives with a man. And it is important to say these things because these communists, they hold on to their identities, a black gay man. So he is high up there. Well, he's not that high up there in the line of Marxism because they fired Don Lemon, but you know, but his homosexuality comes before his quote blackness, just so you know. That's how it works with these people. So anyway, everyone should be treated with dignity and respect. Respect. Malcolm Kenyatta's House Bill would harm good people. Yes, it would. So this is a family website that's like protect life, promote family, preserve freedom. So they're the only ones who talk about this bill the way how it should be talked about, because these people, they're calling it a fairness act, like on left-wing media, and they'll say, oh, it was just to make sure that, you know, trans people can get jobs and trans people can get apartments. Don't do that. They've been getting, I've told you I work with some. Like, what's going on? You know, we have laws about this already. Anyway, so today, only days after its introduction and without public hearings, Democrats in Pennsylvania House Judiciary Committee voted to advance Kenyatta's House Bill 300. This bill would subject Pennsylvania families, businesses, and professionals to numerous harms, including allowing men and women-only spaces like locker rooms or bathrooms, and lead to sanctions against religious entities that adhere to longstanding convictions. Shockingly, in a party line vote and reportedly at the behest of the ACLU, of course, the committee voted to remove some of the limited protection language for religious schools included in the original bill. So, um, so the Democrats on the committee vote gutted the right of churches and religious schools to hire all employees that share their religious beliefs about sexuality, and gives a new cause of action to sue churches and schools. Those supporting this bill are listening more to special interest groups over the people of Pennsylvania. They're doing more than that. They're almost doing there's an evil feeling that comes about with this. It simply is. This bill will effectively say, like, let's say somebody opens it up. We've seen little religious Montessori schools and stuff or whatever. And so then you want to make sure that the people that you hire promote your same message, right? Because this is a school that is about a certain religion, right? Even let's say that, like, because Muslims have their own schools too. So like an Islamic school, they're very conservative. I don't know what this notion is that Muslims aren't conservative. Like, they're very probably more conservative than I am. They're very conservative. Okay, now you might have some that, you know, make the religion look bad. Jihadi Muslims, that's not acceptable in the Quran, I've been told by Muslims. So, you know, but anyway, so in their school, obviously you have to garb up, you have to look a certain way, right? Modest, okay? And so if their school says we hire people that have our same message of Allah, Islam, right? Then some trans person, because, you know, these are the people, they always want to make a point. I'm going to go ahead and go apply to that school. Knowing damn well you don't want to go to that school, right? So I'm going to go ahead and apply to the Muslim school. Okay. Oh, they didn't hire me because I'm trans. I'm going to sue them now. Come on now. You know, are you serious right now? Like, I'm going to kind of put myself in here. It's not right. Like, it's just not right. It's more than just not right. Like, it's evil. Why are you coming for churches? Why are you coming for holy places? Why? And this bill would also, hold on, we already know about giving up. There's no women's spaces, right? Women can't have their own sports. Women can't have their own bathrooms. And on some of this, I blame women. We're just as strong as men. We do what men do. No, we don't. Like, I don't want to do what a man does. I just want to be taken care of. So that's a lie. But you know, so now guess what? They said the men could come in his sports too. I don't call these kooks men though, but because a real man doesn't want to do that, right? This type of law has been used to shut down Christian foster care and adoption agencies when like there's Christian foster care and adoption agencies that say that we only place a child with a mother and a father. And so then you'll have two men come in and say, no, but we want to come. But like, why are you coming to the Christian adoption agency for that? Right? There you go again. You know what I mean? Like, why do you have to do that? And so, but what it also does is, and I don't know, I guess they didn't go into this law also effectively will say to a doctor, let's say somebody brings their kid to the doctor, then they're like 14 years old, they've been on puberty blockers. Okay, they're like 18 years old, they've been on puberty blockers and everything, and now they're ready to get the SNP. And the doctor is like, and so for some reason they're coming to a new surgeon. We heard you're the best plastic surgeon. And that doctor's like, oh yeah, I don't do that with kids that young. Or even if they say like, I don't do that with kids, it doesn't even have to be a religious thing. That child's been on puberty blockers. I don't do that when they've been on puberty blockers because I don't have enough tissue to make the appropriate type of, you know, creation, whatever, anastomosis down there. So it will botch the surgery and your child's going to be effectively like destroyed. They're going to have to keep getting it fixed. You really don't want that. So I suggest maybe there might be a better surgeon. No, but we want you. Yeah, again, I say it is not safe for me to do that. That's why I don't even do that on kids. I do that on adults who have decided to make this decision who weren't on puberty blockers. They can go back and sue that doctor and say, you didn't give gender affirming care. That was neglect. This bill will do that. That was neglect to a child. So that's why when you hear somebody like a Dylan Mulvaney say stuff like, oh, calling me a man, that should be illegal. No, you are a man. You're not a woman. That's how mad that makes me. Because even Jazz Jennings, hold up. Matter of fact, we could do this a little bit right now. I think I still have a little bit of time. Just want to show you one more thing. But you're not a woman, you know, and they say it now. Back in the day, they used to say, "Well, I'm a trans woman." They don't say that no more. The day has come; they don't say it no more. Hold on.
Hey mermaids, yes, I'm bringing that back. I'm just here to update you all on everything that's been going on in my life. I've been really focused on myself these past few years. I've been in school and college at Harvard.
Okay, all right,
really
whatever.
working-
We don't care. Mind you, this person goes to Harvard for what? Why? So hold on.
Yeah.
Are saying. So I'm gonna pull up a clip.
And this is his the brother Sander. He's so obsessed with like everything gay, homosexual, trans, everything, and it's all to get his mother's attention because these kids have not received their mom's attention the way how Jazz did. It's utterly sick. It really is.
And refer back to what you just said. So you talked about the clip where you said, "I'm not happy," where you had a moment of breakdown. This is that clip.
Jazz Jennings has been,
I'm scared.
quote unquote, living as a girl
I'm a
now
girl.
for years.
You're not a girl. You see what I'm saying? They can't stand it. Like, you're not a girl. Hold on. Yeah, because
Start talking it out. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
And I think I'm kind of breaking down a little bit and spiraling into negativity.
I just want to feel like myself. Like, that's it. I don't care. All I want is to be happy and feel like me, and I don't feel like me yet.
this is when Jazz was saying, I don't feel like me. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Wow. It's really hard to watch that because I know that I struggle with a lot of mental health issues. I have really severe anxiety a lot of the time, and I suffer with depression. But the thing is, a lot of people think that my mental health issues have to do with getting the surgery or me being transgender, and they associate those things together. And that's just not the case. The surgery only brought me joy and happiness. People think that once you get the surgery, it's all sunshines and rainbows, everything's great, your life problems are solved. No, you're still going to face hardships. You're still going to have issues. And that was just one moment of me feeling like I lacked clarity and I felt cluttered and I didn't feel like I had the sense of self that I wanted to in that moment, because sometimes we all struggle, you know, sometimes.
And I will give Jazz this much. At least, you know, the honesty is there with having the surgery doesn't mean that everything is going to make everything okay. We know that, right? That's how life is. Life does happen, right? I'll say that much. But your problems are like, how do you live in a body that you've been told, like your parents told you you're a girl, like it was brought to you, like how do you live with this? That's part of it. That is part of it.
Sometimes we have those moments where we don't know who we are, or we.
But I want you to get to the part
what
where
we saw in that clip. So that's my take. That breaks my heart when people bring up my mother in a negative light, because she has been. It's crazy. It's just crazy to me because I was the one who initiated my transition. I was the one who said, I am a girl. This is who I am. I want to transition. I want to be.
Jazz asked the mom, you know, are you a girl? Am I a girl or am I a boy? And then the mom took Jazz to therapy and it just went, it derailed from that. It was a simple question.
Me, my parents didn't force me to be a girl. They didn't encourage me. They just supported me. And
there's just no other way but your parents forcing you to be a girl, because when you're a kid, you're not thinking really that hard about genders, like pick out clothes and like, oh, I have to go to girl clothes. And you're not. Like, how many of us were tomboys? You know, how many of us were tomboys? When is the last time you seen a tomboy? That's because they're making them all become boys.
Embrace me for who I am, as all parents should. All parents should be like my parents, because they've allowed me to blossom into the young woman that.
Not true. You can't just go off and say that. I seen a picture of this woman, and she was playing football when she was like 14 and like hardcore, was trying to be a dude. Not that she was trying to be a dude, but she just was doing whatever, like having fun. And then her, but then you see her like today, and she's like got like a skirt on, she's all cute and pretty. She's like, I just was having fun when I was young. My parents didn't feel like I needed to go off and be another gender, and I'm glad they didn't, because I wasn't even thinking about it like that either.
I've always known I was, and I am so happy to be me today. I'm so happy to be presenting as a woman and just feeling like
Not presenting as a woman.
amazing.
And this is what he says later. Respond to this, and maybe whatever you want to say to this.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Mother brainwashed this kid into doing this, and now she's going to keep that brainwash going. So he may never.
So I made a video.
Down. Like, why do you care? Let us just be. Let us be happy. Let us be ourselves. We're not hurting anyone. You know, we need to celebrate each other and our diversity, not bring each other down. And anytime you're wishing death on anyone, I think you need to take a step back.
And you see how far they take it. It's like, you're attacking us. You're wishing death. Nobody's wishing death on you. Are you kidding me? In today's society, nobody's wishing death. But there's a part where he goes off like, I am a woman. Like, I was like, oh.
See us fail, who want to see us be miserable. And that's really fucked up, because we're not wishing that upon anyone. We just want people to open their eyes and see that we are beautiful. Everyone is beautiful, and everyone deserves to be their authentic self. Our messages are about love, about positivity, and just to see someone like this saying such negative things, it's, you know, it's hurtful. It sucks. My whole life, I have faced bullying. I have faced people, you know,
outrageous. And, you know, I think.
Let's stop there for a second.
Okay.
So there's a second part we're going to get into, but what do you think about that? Give an 11-year-old
Okay.
Frankenstein.
I'm just going to dispel the myths right now and say here, as a person who has actually experienced using hormone blockers, who experienced hormone replacement therapy, those decisions were the best decisions of my life. It allowed me to prevent male puberty. It allowed me to develop and go through puberty as a girl at the same time as my peers.
You could never have went through puberty as a girl at the same time as your peers. This is the delusion that we have allowed people to live in. What world? Just because you stopped male puberty, right? You blocked your natural puberty. I'm not even going to give it a name. You didn't go through the same puberty that girls do, because there's, first of all, something that happens anyway. It's like every month. Okay, so you didn't have that. It didn't just all of a sudden happen for you. Furthermore, them puberty blockers, you see Jazz's face. Jazz has a childish face because they blocked the puberty. It keeps them at a stunted child look. This is why these older ones, they're kooks about it. Rachel Levine, you know, he will be like, oh, give them puberty blockers. They like that childish look. It is disgusting when you really put it into perspective.
It was everything I wanted and more, and it really saved my life. And gender affirming care saves the lives of so many youth out there. It's so important. It's so pivotal. If I had to go through male puberty, I can't even imagine that. I would look like my brother or my dad. And I was able to avoid all of that. And it was life-changing. And to hear people like saying otherwise, I don't know where they're formulating these arguments. I'm going to go back to this. Why do you care? Just let us be.
Well, because you don't let us be, you know, that's the thing. And there's a part here where, Jazz was going off like, I'm a woman just like you. I'm a woman. They love saying that. I'm a woman just like you. No, you're not. The delusion. So that's why I don't even call it trans, because again, it is a substitution body. It's a substitution expression, right? But you're still a male. What they go through, and they call it a vagina, that's not a vagina, because you'll never know what it feels like. And then they get mad when they hear this. So they get so mad because it becomes now a break in their reality, that it's like, you're attacking me because my existence is being questioned now, you know? Anyway, Jazz goes through this stuff, and, you know, I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you, but I'm going to have a full video really about Jazz and the surgery and just the complications and the smells, because there's also the story of this 18-year-old kid who went in for the same kind of surgery and died. I mean, it's just terrible. Yeah, the body started eating itself up, and it's just disgusting. Is it worth it? So, but before I do, so we're about to end off. There's a couple things I want to end off with. Okay. We're gonna do it fast, right? Okay, hold on. Couple of things I want to end off with. I always want to talk about like 100 different things with you guys because I just enjoy coming on here, but an hour's an hour. All right. Now, this right here, we got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We do have to talk about it because it still goes back into the thing about speech. In a time where, especially being Christian, you are being told that your Christian faith is an attack on somebody simply because you believe that God created man and woman. I want to know why Ron DeSantis is flying to any other country to sign bills for his state. We need to keep it real. Like, what's going on? And this is not about him running for president or whatever. Like, this is America first needs to be America first. Okay. And I would say this even if Ron went to Haiti and signed the bill, like, I live here. We need to focus on here. As President Michael Jones says, Ron DeSantis just lost my vote. I agree with Andrew Torba. I don't know who that is. Anyone who flies to Israel to sign a state bill into law doesn't deserve to be a governor of Florida, much less a president of the United States. I'm just confused as to what's going on. So here we go. Ron DeSantis flies to Israel to destroy free speech in Florida. This week, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida made a trip to Israel just to sign HB 269, a bill that makes it a felony with up to 5 years in jail for passing out offensive flyers or pamphlets. This move has been widely criticized by free speech advocates and legal experts as a gross violation of the First Amendment. The bill states that anyone distributing any material for the purpose of intimidating or threatening the owner could be convicted of a felony hate crime. While we often write about the hate speech rules on big tech platforms, this is far worse. This is the state of Florida violating the First Amendment against the United States. And it goes into a lot of things where, he says this whole thing about distributing, the flyers even have a statement on them noting that they are distributing randomly without malicious intent. Wait, hold on. While some might consider this information to be offensive, there's nothing inherently threatening or intimidating about Okay, so they were talking about like different. All right, so let me break it down for Casey talk. Okay, so dig this. As a Black woman, I've always said I believe in free speech. Like, even if the person's a white supremacist, don't take away their free speech. This was before when I used to use terms like white supremacist, like when I was on the side of the left, right? And I remember they said Alex Jones was a white supremacist and we're taking him off the internet. And I was like, I don't know who that man is. That's how long ago it was. But he needs to go right back into the internet, okay? Because you cannot take away somebody's constitutional rights. If he's writing about something that says we're going to kill all the blacks at 10:30, that's different. That now he's broken a law, okay? But just saying I don't like Black people and putting it in a pamphlet, or even saying I think Black people look like, some horrendous thing, right? And putting it on a pamphlet is still protected under the First Amendment. And so I feel like I've had to come to terms with that, right? Where I understand that as part of our Constitution. So what is Ron DeSantis going to Israel to sign a bill like this? We have to be careful. Now, I want to make it very clear. I hate doing it. I have Jewish friends. I'm not doing it. I'm not. Provide your own, not alls, okay? But I've been told that my Christian faith is anti-Semitic. So how far does this go with the passing out flyers? What if one of my tracks happened? I live in Florida, and one of my tracks, my Bible tracks, happened to fall in the lawn of somebody who's, already paranoid and happen to be Jewish. And then they say, well, this is offensive towards me. I've been told that, though. You have to understand, like, this is not far-fetched. I've been told that by one person, but it was still somebody who said it, this is intimidating. We're trying to push Christianity. I'm like, whoa, no. I've been told that too, even by Muslims. So how far does this go? But right now it's like, why are you all the way over there? What are you doing? Florida really, thank God it's only in Florida. Thank God it's only in Florida. What would happen if it was the whole United States of America? This is a very real conversation we need to have, or at least you need to know that this happened over there. Okay. And he's very proud that he did this. He's very proud that he did this. We don't need any more laws about free speech, and we have a First Amendment, and we have laws that say if you're planning to hurt people, now you're committing, a intent to commit a crime. We have laws for that too. We're fine as far as laws go. It's just that people need to prosecute the laws the way that, prosecute people they need to actually, do the law and order, like practice real law and order. You have enough laws that could turn this country around and get rid of crime. Okay. This is not needed. And so I've really felt like this is something that needed to be brought on this channel. And I said I was going to discuss it. I'm looking at Ron DeSantis a little weird for this one. I'm just saying. All right. We're about to end off the banking crisis. Why don't we just go ahead and just look at that real quick. And then I want to end off talking about conservatives. Breaking. First Republic Bank is seized and sold to JP Morgan, and second largest U.S. bank failure. The FDIC avoided another banking crisis by seizing First Republic and selling it to JP Morgan, including all $103.9 billion in deposits and $229.1 billion in assets. First Republic. All right. This is what you need to know about this. Like I said, go back and look at my videos. I got Alex Jones on them. He says it, I say it, but he said it first, of course. They want to have like maybe 4 big banks. That's how it is in the Great Reset. That's how we're going to be able to control your money. You're going to hear more of this. Come on, First Republic. So they crashed the bank. Somehow they crashed. I'll do more research into exactly how this bank crashed. They crashed the bank. Okay. Now you hear it's bought by JP Morgan. Yeah, because the FDIC can't just be running in and just constantly like seizing banks and saying, okay, we'll take care of this one too. Because now we are seeing that obviously it looks like it's nationalization of the banking industry, right? We don't want that, right? But what if I have JP Morgan Chase already in my back pocket and I just let them buy it, right? And so now it's still nationalization because I have them in my back pocket, but you can't tell. The CBDC is on its way. It's on its way, So we got to have the banks, the big banks that, where's my tinfoil hat, right? No, but really, we're watching it happen. We're going to destroy all these little banks and get the big banks so we can follow your dollar, your wallet. This is what this is about at the end of the day. This is. I've been watching this even with FTX, with what happens with, FTX, like really, that it did a number on cryptocurrency, right? And the whole point of cryptocurrency was that it wouldn't be legislated. It was to come out of the regulations. And then now you got senators wanting to regulate that. They want to regulate everything. Now they're going to want to regulate more banking. Don't worry about it. CBDC is on its way. FedNow is launching in July. That's not a conspiracy. That's the truth. I'll have more information on that. Let me see. Is this yet another bank? Yes, it is. And it's First Republic, Sarah. Like I've seen First Republic before, like, around here. This isn't just like some unknown bank. Why is this happening? All of a sudden the banks can't get, but first of all, we know why a little bit. Like we know that this economy has been trash. I've been talking about it for a while. It's been trash. It's trash, but that's the point. We drive it into a hole. Our dollar any minute now will be de-dollarized, and it's not about fear. It's BRICS is happening. They're in discussion. Even today, I'm looking at they're in discussion. I have to get more information on that. Today, I plan on running some errands, coming back home, and I'm taping all day, so I can have everything coming out this week about all of this stuff that's happening here that we need to pay attention to. But it goes back to, again, controlling the money. So not to control your thoughts. This is why when I see free speech laws being written and all this stuff, it bothers me because it's like, now what? Like, this is all connected to, you have to accept this person as this gender, or else you know, your social credit score isn't going to be good and I'm not going to approve you for that loan. You know, there is a Fed now that is coming. Like, this isn't like later on down the line. Fed now is coming. And it was supposed to already had came out in March because they said they wanted to do like a little soft launch for, you know, like, oh, so you could play with it. But it got pushed back to July. And so now I wonder, is it going to come like full steam ahead? Because the banks that are falling out, they get bought out by the big banks. And like I said, then you got like maybe 4 big banks that work with the government, you know, the FDIC, the big banks, all in the Fed now, and then track your transactions and track you. It's just simply on its way. Like, it just is. And it's all connected to, of course, you know, what's up, Growth Talk? What's up, Kofa? Thank you for coming through, though. Even if you are late, I mean, like I did say an hour. I'm going a little bit past an hour because I do want to touch on a little bit more of the Great Reset stuff, but I am about to end. But you could catch the replay. Nobody ever likes catching replays. Yes, Senator Sherrod Brown issued statement on First Republic Bank. First Republic's risky behavior led to problems. What risky behavior? I have to look in to see what the risky behavior they did. You know, it's always a risky behavior. We need to watch the banks more. I know. I just want to show you guys Charles, and he's got this new thing on for his coronation that you'll have to pledge allegiance to King Charles during the coronation. For the people in, you know, over there in, you know, UK, Prince Charles is the author of, you know, of the Great Reset. He is. I mean, everybody thinks it's Klaus Schwab. It's not.
The current pandemic has brought unimaginable devastation.
And before I get started, I like the whole British monarchy tradition. I like looking at that stuff. I do. I really do. I like it for what it is. But Charles is different from his mother. His mother kind of stayed out of things and everything. You know, she wasn't involved in all of like worldly as far as like decisions. Charles is different, but he said he was going to modernize the monarchy. He said that, and that's what he's doing.
To people's lives, livelihoods, and national economies. At the same time, the green recovery represents an unprecedented opportunity to rethink and reset the ways in which we live and do business. Now, I've long believed that we need a shift in our economic model that places nature and the world's transition to net zero at the heart of how we operate.
We stop right there. Net zero. I mean, you know, I'm not going to go all the way into it on this channel, on this live right now, but that's what this is. It's the reset. I mean, we have to be focused on nature and net zero. There's too much carbon. It doesn't make sense because there's the right amount of carbon. I've done videos about them working on machines that's supposed to pull carbon out of the air. We need carbon dioxide in the air. You can't have the air just be with like oxygen. It has to have some carbon dioxide. It's good for the plants. Everything they say is against nature. It's against the real nature law. You know, it's against the God law. It absolutely is. But you know, again, I always push the Substack, and you guys, please, thank you for your patience with that, because I've been having some, you know, work schedule issues and stuff, and that's why there's a delay on the second one. But it is coming because we're watching the Great Reset happen, so I have to discuss it. But I don't go that heavy on this channel. It is on the Substack. But I do have at least the introduction article on the Substack, but there's more to come. I'm going to be very busy. There's more to come. So I want to end off talking, though, about like this conservative movement. I'm not going to show the Crowder video. I'm going to just show you a little bit of this girl.
Want to back up and tell you why we are discussing this breaking news, because it's occurred to me that there are some people out there who believe that to be a conservative, what it means is that we become tribal and we defend other conservatives even when they do things that are wrong, that we don't discuss things that are horrible on our own side because we need to just make sure that we score wins in other ways. And that is wrong. So that to me is the exact opposite of why I have this platform. I am not tribal. I want to expose things when they are bad on the left, and I will also expose things when they are bad on the right. Obviously, I have.
So we'll stop there. I'm not gonna let Candace go because I'm not gonna make my channel about Candace Owens, you know. But what I'm saying is, over the weekend, maybe I'll make this video. Maybe I'll make it later. Y'all let me know in the chat or in the comments below if you want me to make the video about the Crowder situation and just the whole thing. Now, there was over the weekend, Steven Crowder had a video that leaked from about, with some house camera, a Ring camera. The video leaked of him, speaking very, his speech was pretty bad with his wife. She was pregnant and it was like he was telling her, you need to go walk the dogs or something. There was an issue about walking the dogs and she was like, I'm taking a car and I'm leaving. And he's like, I need you to walk the dogs. And it does look bad. But then, of course, this girl, she jumps on it and she says, Steven Crowder's a monster. And I'm not making any excuses. All I'm saying is it looked like a very bad argument. It looked like a really, really bad argument. I'm not really ready to call him a monster based off of that leak because she ended up, I think she ended up getting the keys to the car and she dipped. So, and she told him like, I'll be back. So a real monster doesn't give you the chance to say like, I'm still taking these keys and I'm dipping. A real monster runs up in your mouth and doesn't care. And that's horrible, of course, right? So I'm just not really ready to call Crowder a monster, but I have to see more of his behavior. I don't know that man. I don't watch his show like that. I don't know. It's just that when I see everybody jumping on one situation, I'm just like, I need to look at this a little bit more. But what I will say is this girl says that people think that to be a conservative that you have to be tribal. Absolutely not. No, you should criticize your own base. But what I'm seeing here is a bunch of people who are so focused on each other that there's something happening right now that none of them are talking about it. They're not talking about it. I mean, free speech laws and just the wars, everything. And I know you need the spicy takes. I get it. You need the spicy takes. Yes, because I noticed on my channel, and that's probably why I will make the episode. The Candace Owens Steven Crowder video just blew up. It blows up on the channel. So I get it. You need the spicy takes for the people to come. But you also got to feed the people some information or something. You people have been going back and forth with each other, patting each other on the back. She was on the Anomalies channel. He's patting her on the back. She's patting herself on the back, talking about, I just don't like when people lie and people aren't honest. And I'm like, dog, there's so much footage of you not being honest. There's a message and a movement. And so for a long time, I've been saying, like, I don't want to call myself a conservative because I see how they act. And I'm like, I'm not calling myself a conservative because, like, I'm not going to act like that. If that's what that is, I don't want to be that. But I thought about it this morning and I was like, you should call yourself a conservative because it's a label that you're going to take on so people understand more of where you sit on the positions that you take on certain topics. Of course, number one, my first label is always child worshiper of God, right? That's the part of the label that they forgot. So what I'm saying is that I want to bring a real look to what conservatism is supposed to be. And that entails me working on myself about a lot of different things. And be clear. I'm not saying that when somebody's a conservative that they have to be perfect. We are all sinners. So we're not going to be perfect. But there are some positions, there are values that we have to hold on to and push back with. Or else there's nobody pushing back to the left, right? To the not classical liberal, no, to these neolibs who are coming here, these Marxists who are coming here and telling you, no matter what you see, if I tell you I'm a girl, you see a girl, and then everybody makes it about something else because they're afraid to say the real thing. Back to Dylan Mulvaney again with this Bud Light situation. I'm about to end off the stream, so I'll just come back on myself. Back to Dylan Mulvaney with this Bud Light situation. Everybody keep, apparently Charlie Kirk was like, well, we're mad at Dylan Mulvaney because, it's not even the issue that he's trans. It's just that, he doesn't even drink beer and he doesn't know what March Madness is I don't know. Dylan Mulvaney doesn't know what March Madness is. I don't know how he said it. Like, I heard somebody talking about it, and the person was like, it's like, no, that's not the issue. Like, that's not, like, you got to be able to say, like, no, but the issue is that it's promoting a disorder. It's promoting an abnormality. We have to be able to call it out. But in order to keep audiences, they want to be nice. You can't always, the truth falls where it lands, where it falls. It just simply does. So that's what I want to bring to conservatism, right? What it's supposed to be, conserving the tradition. Now, I got a lot about myself I need to work on, and I'll say it again, like I do. It'll help me. It definitely is helping me. I'm trying to live a certain way, and that entails a lot. Again, health-wise, financially, but yeah, because you have to not. It's not that like you're leading people by. You're not even leading people. It's not about leading necessarily. It's just about being an example and preserving and conserving something. Because right now we're not conserving anything. We're not conserving that. We can't even conserve genders, sexes. We can't even conserve that. Our Constitution is a mess. Now everybody goes around it. They fly to Israel apparently to go around it, right? So this is a movement that I want it to look different. I don't want it to be about a bunch of people keep fighting with each other and showing how they're the greatest and trying to hold on to their numbers. I get you have to, again, have the spicy tastes, but there's a way to do it, and it needs to be done appropriately. And so that is what I will be working on with myself and this channel. And again, on this, and taking that label is not me again saying, it's just taking a label of having a name to the type of person, again, a worshiper of God and having integrity, but conserving certain traditions. Of course, progressing too. We're supposed to progress, but not in the way that is happening right now. And everybody's so focused on other things that what is the conservative message? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. But on this channel, we already on it though, because we're working together to make the inconvenient truth great again, right? That's what we're doing, right? So I'm going to thank everybody who came through to the show. We did go a little bit longer than an hour, but it's okay. There's just a lot going on. I was trying to get all of it in. Thank you guys for coming through, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.